Hello, British Literature Scholars. We are coming down the home stretch. This is week 14 of a 15-week semester. So we've got this week. You're going to have next week off for Thanksgiving, and then, of course, the week after that for about 10 days rather than 7. And then we're done. So this week you're going to do the last of the short story readings. Now, we'll have Oscar Wilde coming up after Thanksgiving, but you've only got one story to read this week. It's about 4 pages. It is Chinua Achebe's Civil Peace. Achebe is from Nigeria, but he's considered British literature because of the colonialism. He was actually born in Nigeria when it was part of the British Empire. So Nigeria did get its independence after Achebe was born. It got it somewhere in the 1960s, and then Achebe, of course, went to college in England. He went to college in Nigeria. He went to college in the United States. He also served during his lifetime as professors at many colleges, in addition to being a really talented writer. Civil Peace is a story that kind of shows the negative impact of what British colonialism did to a country after the country got its independence. Nigeria was plunged into a really severe civil war that lasted from about well, it's actually in your book, but it was in the 1960s. And so it was over with by about 1967. He wrote Civil Peace in 1971. It is a post-Civil War Nigeria that this story takes place in, and it's about a poor guy who gets robbed. I think you're going to find there's some humor in this. A lot of it is the tone that Achebe actually applies to the story. Some of it is the tone of the main character, which is Jonathan. And it's a situation that's very dangerous and life-threatening, and yet Jonathan makes the most of it and is able to shrug it off in the end. And so you'll get to see how that works. I've decided that since this week you've got to read Civil Peace, you've got to take the quiz, and you've got to take the 20th century exam. You will not have to do a reader response paper this week. I figured that the quiz and the exam should be enough work for you. Especially with a holiday coming up next week. So get that quiz done, get that exam taken. The exam's the same way as the Victorian exam and the Romanticism exam. It's all multiple choice. It's about 38 questions, I think, somewhere around in there. So same format, general knowledge in part A, direct quotes in part B. All the direct quotes should have a key word or phrase that should make it easy for you to remember which work it came from. And so I don't suspect, since most of you did well on the Romanticism and Victorian quiz exams, I suspect most of you will do well in the 20th century one as well. So take that exam, take that quiz. You do have to still read Civil Peace because it does appear not only in the reading quiz, but it also appears in the 20th century exam. So you still have to read it and be familiar with it, just like you did all the other stories from the 20th century. You're just not going to have to write a paper on it. So have a great week. I wish you all well. If I don't hear from you between now and Thanksgiving, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you soon.